Well, I would say we got out of that 67.25 prematurely. This market ran a lot more than that, but we stepped away for a bit, and that's fine. We're over yesterday's high, and we're over Thursday's high. Just buy enough to run the stops. I will stand by here. We missed the sell at the G period high. I guess the next stop is probably the 90s. I'm hesitant to sell the 79s. Um, I would definitely be looking to sell the 90s. If I'd have been here, I might have looked to sell the high of Thursday over, with the stop running, but we'll just stand by. What I'm thinking after a little cogitation, we see the high volume line at 78. If we got down to 78, I would definitely consider buying this market. I would like to see a little bit more trade at the second standard deviation below the mean. That would give me, I think, a better price location. But so far, everything's positive. Everything's above the zero line. We don't have many pullbacks that are closing below the zero line either. And the XLF has led the way. And you could get as low as the G period low, the H period has 10 more minutes. It looks like we're driving away from value here. Pause video. Well, there's hardly any retracement here. This is a tough call here. I'd like to get a second standard deviation pullback before I buy the high here. Especially now because the XLF is starting to decline. It's not leading the way. The S&P is leading the way, but the XLF is forming a divergence here. I think 83 offers resistance also. You look at the 226 profile. Actually 227, 226, 227, 227 was what I was looking at. This 81 to 84 area has volume that brought the market down, and also it's the end period high and the L period high of 227, February 27th. So if we get up to 84 and a quarter, I would imagine that would be about a cap until we have a rotation back down. That might be a good entry point, so we'll be patient here. Boy, that's a killer considering we had the 67s, huh? Man, 67. Well, we got out at 71. That's 71, 75. That's hard to believe. But we didn't anticipate a run up. But we thought about it earlier also as a possibility. Just wasn't a whole lot of I don't know what there was. But anyway, well, it's nice to know we had a good entry at least. We're going to take the 82 short. Well, we won't put a huge risk on it since the market's in an uptrend and resistance doesn't really come in until a little bit higher than us. We did get up to that, 82, 83 area, and tested that little block, so we should see a little retracement. I'll risk up to, I'd like to say 90, but that's too much. I mean, when we get to 90, it would be better to take a position and risk above, a little bit. So on this trade, if we get over, I don't know, 83, 75, it's probably a scratch. So let's go to 84, risk 2 points. God, that reminds me of February though, risking 2 points. That was a terrible exercise, putting the stops real close. That didn't work at all. Could say 85. That's above the double period high. Let's go to 85. That's only 3, but that's fine. This trade feels risky because we are in a pretty good uptrend. The G period high, H period high, FE, all those are higher. The D period high is higher than the C period. So we're only expecting, a little bit here. matter of fact, if it doesn't break soon, I'm not going to stick around too long. There's been buying on the NYSE tick all day long. We might do a reverse on this trade when we get out. Get out with any kind of profit. Anticipating a run a little higher, up to the 90 area, up to the high volume bars between 85 and 88. That's right where our stop is too. Yeah, I don't know about this trade. Let's go ahead and reverse this trade. We're going to go ahead and reverse it. 81.75 reverse. We got scared out of that trade. We didn't see any follow through after we got in, even though the I period is still relatively new. Just to die right there with all this volume up here didn't leave me with a great feeling, considering that the NYSE is strong all day. And lately we haven't been able to hardly get it closed below the zero line. So I feel more comfortable with the 81.75 long, although I don't typically like to buy the highs. I would have liked to held my 67s. God, one of these days I got to work on, I don't know, patience, exit something, nimbleness. Boy, look at this. I'm having second thoughts on this trade now. Man, oh man, if this market doesn't rebound off a hit on the second standard deviation, considering the XLF is making a divergence with the S&P, I'm on the wrong side of this trade. That's a potential considerable problem, considering we haven't been able to bust over the 8350. And I'm about ready to reverse this thing again. Yeah, we need to get out of this trade. We're going to reverse at 81 and a quarter, short 81 and a quarter. Our stop is above the market at 85. Actually, we're going to move a closer stop. We're going to run our stop at 83.50, just above the market higher. I don't like the sequences of trades that have just happened. Being short from 82, reversing at 81.75, reversing again at 81.25. Now I'm short at 81.25. There was just some conflicting data. The NYSE tick chart is strong all day, but the divergence in the XLF is a serious consideration. That's a major divergence. The E-mini S&P has been making higher highs all day, and the XLF has just been diverging for a good portion of that. And you know, that tells me there's a good chance that the NYSE now could be ready to start to build on the downside, even though it's having a strong day. We'll see. We got a tight stop. The pressure is on the buyers to push it up through here, up through this resistance area. If the buyers don't show up to get us above this 85.67 area, up through the 90 area, and then up to the 1400 area, I wouldn't imagine it would take a lot of selling pressure to take this market lower. So we're going to stand tight with our 85.20, 81.25. Might have a good position here. The volume over the last 3 days of the rallies have been declining also. That's another reason I think we could see a good rotation backward. Well, we're moving in the right direction after those couple reverses. If the momentum continues, I think the target is the 72 area. We have to get past the E period high though at 75 first. We're having trouble getting underneath this G period low at 76.50. We need to get through this, otherwise I'm considering getting out of this trade. I still think we're starting to see a shift in dynamics in the NYSE, but you know, not being able to break under here is concerning me too. J period has 20 more minutes to go though. We're right here testing this G period low and the J period. We get below this G period and get through this low volume cluster between 75 and 76.50. We could very well hit our target down in the low 70s, 71, 72 area. Boy, there's a lot of volume building down here. We're grinding lower, but slowly. I don't know what to think about all this heavy volume. Trying to get through this negative volume cluster, the J period low. We're going to take the 76, 75 out. Too much volume down here. 76, 75 out.